Hey everybody, welcome back to The Binger. Superhero movies have been a big thing for decades now, even before the MCU. Adam West brought Batman to life in the original TV series, paving the way for others to follow. These days, landing a part in a superhero movie is like striking gold for an actor. However, it doesn't always go as planned. Not every movie is a success, and not all memories are fond. Join us here at The Binger as we take a look at actors that regretted superhero movie roles they took. Michael Shannon, Man of Steel. Michael Shannon plays stern and mean so well that he was an obvious choice for the bad guy in Man of Steel. Unfortunately, the script let Shannon down, and his part became almost a little too cartoon-like. Shannon is an Oscar-nominated actor, for crying out loud. Why did DC have to do him like that? The movie divided critics, with some saying it was way too heavy for a superhero flick. Shannon hasn't ever said anything really bad about his experience, but he hasn't said anything good either. When asked by Vulture magazine about Batman vs. Superman, the actor admitted that he didn't care which hero would win. Maybe Shannon's just not a superhero movie kind of guy, but fans expected a little more interest from the actor that starred opposite Henry Cavill. The Boardwalk Empire star attempted to laugh it off by saying that Superman would win because he loves destroying things, but the damage was done. It looks like it was probably the paycheck that motivated Shannon to take the role, rather than a desire to be part of the DCEU canon. Hey, a guy's gotta eat, right? George Clooney, Batman and Robin. 1997's Batman and Robin should have been a good movie. It had an impressive cast, with Uma Thurman and Arnold Schwarzenegger stepping in as the main villains. Clooney put on the suit for his one and only turn as Batman. Sadly, the movie was not received well. It's widely regarded as one of, if not the worst Batman movies ever, so it's only natural that the leading man had his reservations. In fact, Clooney was disappointed with everything, from the way the movie was made to his performance. The experience left such a sour taste that the actor stayed away from big-budget movies for a few years. Instead, he chose offbeat scripts like Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Clooney agreed that his own performance was subpar, but said it was a difficult film to be good in. Thankfully, it didn't seem to do his career any damage, as he went on to become one of Hollywood's most famous men. He's won 3 Golden Globes, 2 Oscars, and continues to be one of the most highly sought-after actors in the industry. Not bad for a guy that started out wearing scrubs in the ER, is it? Terrence Howard, Iron Man. This one is juicier than a ripe peach on a hot summer's day. Terrence Howard was the original actor cast as War Machine back in 2008, before he was replaced by Don Cheadle for the sequel. Terrence actually loved working on the movie. He just ended up hating Robert Downey Jr. No one really commented on the actor swap at the time, and fans seemed to appreciate Cheadle. Terrence himself kept quiet on the subject until he appeared on Bravo's Watch What Happens Live. A fan called in and asked why he left Iron Man, so he spilled the tea. According to the Crash actor, the studio tried to pay him 1/8 of the amount previously agreed for the second movie. The justification they gave was that they knew the film would be okay without him. Well, they weren't wrong. Howard went on to say that he called Robert Downey Jr. for help and he didn't return the call for 3 months. Needless to say, their friendship is over and done with following that debacle. It was a shame to see Howard go, but great to see another worthy actor replace him. At least his character wasn't compromised. Andrew Garfield, The Amazing Spider-Man. Everyone had high hopes for Sony's reboot of the beloved superhero, especially actor Andrew Garfield. Garfield had been a huge fan of Spidey since he was just a kid, so he was thrilled to land the role of Peter Parker. Unfortunately, it wasn't all that it was cracked up to be, according to the actor. When he sat down for a chat with Amy Adams, Garfield said that the experience left him a little bit heartbroken. Still in his early 20s when he signed up for the part, the star thought it would pay homage to the character. Instead, he found that the studio was more interested in making money than doing right by Spider-Man and his fans. Garfield returned for the sequel, but ultimately, the part of Spider-Man in the MCU went to Tom Holland. Despite Garfield regretting how things went down, he's still impressed with his performance. Critics gave the movie favorable reviews and praised the Brit. Interestingly, it was the last Marvel-based movie that famed expert Roger Ebert reviewed before he passed away. In his opinion, it came a close second to Spider-Man 2. Hugo Weaving, Captain America: The First Avenger. Hugo Weaving is one of the best actors on the planet. Remember when he played Agent Smith in the Matrix trilogy? He was beautifully compelling and chilling all in one. It was a major win for the MCU when he was cast as Red Skull in Captain America. However, he didn't reprise the role for Avengers. The part fell to Ross Marquand. The change didn't really make waves, as the extensive makeup required for the role masked it. It still saddened fans though. When asked by online magazine Collider why he didn't go for round 2, the Hobbit actor said he just didn't want to. He had signed a contract for a number of movies, so if the studio really wanted to, they could have forced him to honor his commitment. Thankfully for Weaving, they let him go. It looks like he didn't really appreciate the whole superhero experience. It was a one-time only sort of deal. Although he's never gone into great detail about why he wouldn't want to do it again, something obviously didn't sit right with him. Back in the golden age of Hollywood, if an actor signed a contract, it was impossible to get out of. Weaving is just lucky that times have changed. Jared Leto, Suicide Squad. Suicide Squad had a brilliant cast, but the one everyone was most excited to see was Jared Leto. The actor's take on Joker was highly publicized in the build-up. As Heath Ledger did such a great job as the crazy Joker in Dark Knight, Leto had a tough act to follow. He spent months honing his character, which he really made his own. The Joker featured prominently in the trailers for the movie, but wasn't really in it that much. Speaking to IGN, the singer/actor expressed his frustration, saying sarcastically, "Were there any scenes that weren't cut?" Compared to the amount of time he spent shooting, his screen time was minimal. The actor hadn't badmouthed anyone, but it's clear he wasn't pleased. Would you be after pushing yourself to the brink of insanity, only for producers to leave it out? What we did see of Leto as the Joker seemed promising, and there was talk of a standalone movie featuring this version of the character. However, it seems that has been put on the back burner. Joaquin Phoenix is the latest actor to put his stamp on the role in the upcoming flick, Joker. Mickey Rourke, Iron Man 2. You know some actors tiptoe around movies that they don't like by avoiding the subject? Yeah, Mickey Rourke is not that guy. Rourke has been in the biz since the 70s, so you better believe that he doesn't have time for anyone's BS. He appeared as Iron Man's foe in the second movie, coming in hot as Whiplash. Ivan Vanko had an interesting story as the son of disgraced scientist Anton Vanko. Ivan wanted to serve up some revenge on his dad's behalf, who was wronged by the late Howard Stark in the past. Cue a whole lot of destruction and mayhem. Rourke poured his heart and soul into the part, but Marvel cut most of the scenes that he filmed. To say that he was annoyed would be an understatement. The actor would later put the entire superhero franchise on blast, telling Crave Online that he worked really hard just for everything to end up on the floor. He finished up by calling the pictures mindless and washing his hands of the entire thing. Rourke battled for his character, but it didn't do any good as footage was still scrapped. It's unlikely he'll be in another Marvel movie at any time. Ben Affleck, Daredevil. Ben Affleck is better known as Batman these days, but it wasn't always so. His first foray into the superhero genre came in 2003 when he had the leading role in Daredevil. Critics mainly agreed that the movie was good but not great, with Roger Ebert handing it a generous 3 out of 4 stars. The movie's leading man didn't just not like it though, he hated it. Although Ben wanted to do right by Matt Murdock, he felt like he didn't. His self-perceived failure was one of the main reasons he said yes to Batman, and he wanted to have another shot at a superhero and do it right. It didn't quite turn out right though, because Ben Affleck was supposed to star in and direct a new standalone movie, The Batman, but gave up the gig. Speaking to Jimmy Kimmel, the 46-year-old said that he just couldn't crack it and felt like it was time to give it over to someone else. No actor has ever played Batman for more than 3 movies, so maybe it was just meant to be. Affleck will most likely steer clear of superhero movies now. It's a 2 strikes and you're out sort of deal. Plus, Batman is such an iconic character that he'd never be able to don another costume and it would still be okay with audiences. Kate Mara, Fantastic Four. When Fantastic Four was rebooted in 2015, it could have been a wonderful thing. Sadly, it left a lot to be desired. Critics called it dull and joyless, while fans shook their heads in disbelief. The Fantastic Four are an integral part of Marvel Comics, so the sooner Marvel can get the rights back, the better. Kate Mara played Sue Storm, but despite her valiant efforts, the movie still tanked, making it the lowest grossing Fantastic Four movie ever. The actress made the mistake of reading the terrible reviews before watching the movie herself. In fact, she was so put off that she avoided seeing it. Mara later admitted that it was just an awful movie. There was nothing to learn, nothing to grow from, and that's just how the cookie crumbled. Director Josh Trank went down another route and lambasted 20th Century Fox on Twitter. Let's just look to the future and hope the 4 get absorbed into the MCU. It'll be a shame to see Mara go though, because she's a great actress, as proven by her stint on American Horror Story in 2011. Christian Bale, The Dark Knight Trilogy. This one is a little surprising, as there's a lot of love for Christian Bale as Batman. He's surly, deep, and dark, everything that Bruce Wayne is supposed to be. Over the years, a host of actors have made the DC character their own, from Val Kilmer to Michael Keaton. But most recently, Ben Affleck took on the role, but he hasn't made quite as much of an impact as his predecessor. Bale was lucky enough to wear the suit throughout the Dark Knight trilogy. Christopher Nolan's direction was impeccable, and I can't let this fly by without giving Heath Ledger another mention. While Bale doesn't regret doing the films completely, he wasn't overly pleased with his own performance. The actor wanted to show Batman's true monstrous self a little more. The world loved the movie regardless, even if Bale thinks he could have done a better job. The American Psycho star was quick to point out that it had nothing to do with Christopher Nolan, who did an awesome job. I think Bale is the one who's being a little too hard on himself with this, but who am I to tell another dude what to feel, right? Nolan considered a host of other actors for the part, including Cillian Murphy and Joshua Jackson. Do you agree with these A-listers? Are they right to regret their roles, or are they being a little too hard on themselves? Let us know down in the comments section. Before you go, be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. It'll help soothe my fragile ego. And if you want to keep up to date with us here at The Binger, hit that subscribe button. And until next time guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.